Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ will be joining us shortly, along with our special guest host, Brother Blacksmith, also joining us on the check-in in a few minutes, family. Hope everybody is doing well. It's been some crazy things that are happening in the news, and of course, we're going to discuss as much as we possibly can tonight. You got to be careful. These social media platforms, you say certain things, they try to strike your channel, pull you off the air, and all kind of stuff. So we're going to move in between the lines. How about that? How about that? You know, last night, I want to give a special shout out to the BK William Mackey Jr. History Club. Last night, we had a fun time discussing the life and times of Miss Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells-Barnett. Let me get that straight. And we'll talk a little bit about her tonight, along with some key women in the UNIA. Yes, I know I've been promising y'all, and I'm giving it to you tonight. We're gonna talk about these women of the UNIA. Some you may know, some you may not. I'm sure some of the names I'm going to mention tonight you have never heard of, but you should have. We have to get out of this bad habit of telling stories about history as if events happen in a vacuum, or as if there are, singular folks who make things happen. We're going to dig a little bit tonight on our sisters, on our queen mothers. We're going to talk about, like I said, women of the UNIA. We're going to give you some facts about Sister Ida B. Wells-Barnett that you may not have known. We're going to talk about Anna Douglas. That's right. Nobody talks about Anna Douglas. I mean, this is crazy. So we're going to change the paradigm. We're going to change the paradigm. And I want you all to get ready for this Saturday, 2 p.m. for the Zoom lecture and conference on Marcus Messiah Garvey and W.E.B. Du Bois. Why didn't they unite? That's right. It's going down 2 p.m. And you are not going to want to miss that. Trust me when I tell you, I'm going to be going in about W.E.B. along with the great Marcus Messiah Garvey. A lot of things had taken place during that time. And, often such, we like to speak about historical figures um, in a favorable manner, which is good, but we seem to be, or we tend to be one sided and not look at history in whole. For example, if you're studying, let's say, I don't know, Sister Marie, she in the check-in, shout out to B More in the building. But let's say we're talking about Sister Marie in 2021. We can't just talk about her in Baltimore in 2021. We have to talk about what was happening in the world at that time so that you can get a whole picture of what's really happened. And unfortunately, when a lot of us study history or listen to those who teach history, it's always in a vacuum or in a bubble. And so we're going to disparage all of that tonight. And also, my brother Blacksmith is going to be giving us the 1-2 punch about what's happening with the WNBA player Grenier held in custody in Russia. Also, we're going to talk about something that is crucial, it's critical, um, it is dubious, if you will, that we speak about black missing and exploited women and girls. We are living in a crisis right now, and it seems that these topics aren't on the ears or listening ears and speaking voices of mainstream and even black media. So tonight we want to highlight some of those. I want to give a shout out to the community cop crew who was on the check-in last night. Check them out every Tuesday on YouTube. You're not going to want to miss it. And always, when I am giving the episodes, I repost them on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page, along with Dr. Filet, Empress Filet, and her broadcast, New Day Liberation. Last Saturday was a hot one. I posted it on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page so you guys can listen to it. One of the greatest researchers and historians, in my humble opinion, was on her broadcast this past Saturday. And, she, whether she knows it or knew it or not, played an instrumental role in me doing research, especially as far as my family is concerned. So we're going to get into a lot. Like I said, tonight it's really going to be hot and heavy. Shout out to Sister Marie. No, I had to use you in an example, you know. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, always on a check-in. Love, 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 love. Thank you, thank you. Another FNP fedora. I told you I got so many flavors. Well, y'all don't even know. Brother Peace, Magnetic Peace, Tyson in the building. I love the post that Brother Peace often puts up on Facebook, just putting information out there and allowing people to digest it um, at their own pace. And keep doing what you're doing, brother. We come from an institution of learning and teaching. And so we are the cubs of that institution. So we in the right vein. How about that? Sister Farnessa, I hope you enjoyed it last night. We had some technical difficulties, but we were able to get through it because whenever Sister Keisha is teaching a topic, I am well versed in what I am saying. So I always have my notes with me. But we made it work. We made it work. And of course, we're going to talk on some of those things that were missing last night due to lack of time. So I hope you will enjoy this broadcast. So now I have this question, if you will, with all the semantics that have been going on with Kanye West, could it possibly be that he is the next celebrity to be put under conservatorship? I wouldn't put it past it, and I just have a gut feeling that that is coming. It's unfortunate, but yeah, we're gonna get into all of that once my brothers get in here. But tonight, family, I wanted to thank you, Sister Farnessa. She said she enjoyed it. Thank you. And I appreciate you on a check-in. I really, really do. And so do the BK William Macri History Club. Shout out to everybody who came through. Got to see Brother Tyrone. I hadn't seen him in such a long time. So it was great seeing him last night. I had to take a sip of that tea. Ginger, turmeric, and lime. That's right. I don't be playing no games over here. You're not catching me over with nothing. Now they letting go these GMO mosquitoes. It's gonna be crazy out here, family. I hope you all can be well protected this summer with all of these GMO mosquitoes that they're going or have already been released into the atmosphere. We have to be careful with all of that. So, I just want to go back on some things that we discussed last night. And I'm pretty sure before last night, most of the people who were on the check-in, in particular the Zoom, did not know the connection between Sister or Queen Mother Ida B. Wells-Barnett, Frederick Douglass and the nation of Haiti. Um, if you weren't on the check-in last night, I'm giving you 10 seconds. If you could tell me what the connection is between Ida B. Wells Barnett, Frederick Douglass, and the nation of Haiti have in common. 10 seconds on the check-in. I got something special if you do that. Nobody who was listening last night is allowed to answer that question. How about that? Nobody put it in, so I guess I got to run with it then. During the World's Fair in 1893, that was held in the city of Chicago, the World's Fair was to show the world how far the United States and other nations had come during that time. And so you had every nation of the world represented, every nation except Black people here in America. Now, mind you, in 1893, the most popular figure in American culture was Frederick Douglass, bar none. There wasn't a newspaper, there wasn't a publication that didn't speak of him or speak of the things that he was talking about. He was the celebrity of that time. Trust and believe that. He made a living doing that. You know, he made his bread pretty much writing and speaking during speaking engagements. And so to have someone at that caliber, not even respected by the United States government at that time, however, used by the US government, is dishonorable. And so during this World's Fair, shout out to Brother Ray Ray. Thanks for having me last night. We just going through some things that we discussed last night for those people who missed it. And of course, once it is uploaded to YouTube, we will repost it on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page for everyone to view. But Fred Douglass, as I said, was the most popular figure. Now, every nation had a pavilion, meaning a tent, a booth of showcasing the great works of their nation. And no one in this country represented Black America. And so this was a time when Ida B. Wells came on the scene to Chicago. I think she was 30 or 31 years of age when she arrived in Chicago, and she saw what was happening, that Black people were made a mockery of. Of the Black nations who were represented, they were entertainment, if you will, disrespectful entertainment. You had Black people who were put in cages and stuff like that to be put on display, and she was disgusted by what she saw. Now, the connection between Ida B. Wells, Fred Douglass, and the nation of Haiti is the nation of Haiti had a pavilion, and they hosted Fred Douglass. Y'all hear me? So when you hit, don't let people come up with this divisionist history, if you will. It was the nation of Haiti that supported, sponsored, and hosted a pavilion, and Fred Douglass was the man. As a matter of fact, Sister Ida B. Wells was so appalled by what she saw. She, along with Fred Douglass and someone else, I can't remember right now, wrote a book, a pamphlet about 100 pages, speaking about the horrors that Blacks faced in the US, along with the successes, because you have to remember this is 1893. Black people were educators. Black people were, and this is what, 20 something years out of enslavement. Black people were educators, had businesses, opened their own schools. As a matter of fact, Sister Ida B. Wells Barnett was a school teacher at the age of 16 in Tennessee, in Memphis, Tennessee. But, you know, I like to show and prove. So hold on, family. We're going to show and prove what Sister Keisha is talking about. Hold on. Here we go.
It seemed the entire world had come to Chicago in the summer of 1893. Most were so captivated by what they saw at the World's Fair, they were oblivious to what was missing. For one visitor, a 31-year-old African-American woman from Mississippi, the omission was glaring.
The fair itself was a monument to extravagance, building after building constructed to display to the world how far America had advanced.
Ida B. Wells had come to Chicago to point out what the fair's organizers had ignored.
She was angry about the exclusion of the African American story, especially the progress that African Americans had made.
Post-slavery, African Americans started doing a lot of phenomenal things. They were elected to Congress. They were elected to public offices locally. They became doctors and business people.
But the signs of black culture Ida B. Wells found at the fair were mostly along the midway, and they represented stereotypes, not progress. Nancy Green, a 59-year-old former enslaved woman, proved a crowd favorite, playing the role of a Southern mammy to promote a new pancake mix. Non-white nations were presented as savages or even sideshow acts. The slight was all the more appalling to Ida because she herself was a testament to the strides made by slavery survivors. Since her emancipation, she had become a widely published journalist.
So it's like, let's show the world what a great country we are without showing any of the contributions of Black Americans.
Ida's friend, Frederick Douglass, was the notable exception. He was the only Black American in charge of a pavilion, one built by the nation of Haiti.
The Haitian government are the ones that invited him. So he wasn't even invited by the United States. And he was one of the most famous, people in the country at that time.
The irony didn't escape Ida B. Wells.
It seems strange to me that but for an accident, Mr. Douglass would have had no part in the World's Fair because of race prejudice in this country. Yet whenever he went out into the grounds, he was literally swamped by white persons who wanted to shake his hand.
And so, Ida stood at the entrance to the Haitian pavilion, handing out copies of a pamphlet.
A clear, plain statement of facts concerning the oppression put upon the colored people in this land of the free and home of the brave.
It's around 90 pages. It's really like a little book. And Ida's the only woman represented in the book.
Wells had written it with Douglass and two other men.
She's also the one who raised the majority of the money to have the pamphlet published. So you have these three men that are willing to sort of be led by a woman. So this, to me, is her publication.
The exhibit of progress made by a race in 25 years of freedom against 250 years of slavery would have been the greatest tribute to the greatness and progressiveness of American institutions, which could have been shown the world.
The preface was written in English, French, and German.
She was standing in front of the Haitian pavilion every single day, handing out the pamphlet, with the idea that people would go from this fair all over the world and say, what the heck is going on in the United States?
It was simply savvy strategy, and Ida was a savvy woman.
Ida B.
So you see the connection between Ida B. Wells, Frederick Douglass, and the nation of Haiti. So I hope that was some great information for some of you who may not have known. Sister Ida B. Wells was born in Holly Springs, Mississippi, to James and Lizzie Wells. James was born of a black mother, and His father was the slave master. Lizzie was born in enslavement also. She had 10 siblings. All of her siblings were sold off into enslavement on other plantations. Knowing that background of her parents, when they died of yellow fever, excuse me, she returned back to Holly Springs to see about her remaining siblings. The youngest brother had also died of yellow fever. And you had these charitable organizations who were at her parents' home trying to decide how to split up the children. And so when Ida arrived, she let them know. Now, mind you, she's 16 years of age. She let them know that there will be no splitting up of the family and that she would take care of her remaining siblings. And they kind of laughed her off. Who is this young girl going to tell us? And she made it plain by using a shotgun. She pulled the shotgun on them and said, "Get the hell up out of here. I'm keeping my family intact." And so, with the help of her grandmother and aunt, she was able to keep her siblings together. Um, at that age, she was a teacher. And she began writing. Even then, Sister Ida B. Wells, or Queen Mother Ida B. Wells-Barnett, when she went to this black school to teach, um, she questioned the credibility and um, the ability of those female teachers who were there if they had the credentials to teach in that school. And Ida wrote about you know her employer at that time and those teachers, letting them know, she was really about it. That the only reason why y'all got this job is because you sleeping with the boss. And this is serious business. And she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way by doing that. And so they didn't fire her right away. They actually didn't renew her contract the next year. And you talking about Mother Ida B. Wells. You see Sister Keisha with the hat? No. Ida B. Wells was about it. She loved being fly, loved looking good. She would dress to the nines all the time. She often complained about not having enough money because she shopped like that for real. And on top of that, she was taking care of her siblings. And what she would do is that on Friday she would go home and prepare the meals for the week, wash the clothes, and make sure everything was done, while she then transferred 6 miles out during the week to teach. And then she would come back on the weekends and do it again. Um, and so she would take the train to the next town over where she was teaching at. And it just so happens that the conductor asked her, why was she sitting in the ladies' car? And she showed her ticket. I've been riding in this car and I'm gonna keep riding this car, what have you. Now, mind you, Sister Ida B. Wells was about 5 foot tall. So the conductor asked her to leave the car and go into another car that was unsavory for ladies at that time. The other car had, men drinking and cussing and things of that nature, and she wanted no parts of that. And so the conductor actually tried to drag her off the train, and she bit the hell out of him. It took 3 men to remove her from that car. So, she was a fighter out the gate, out the gate. And, when she met, she actually sued the Chesapeake Railroad Company for doing that. She needed a lawyer, and her friend Fred Douglass introduced her to her would be husband, Ferdinand Barnett, who was an attorney and also the owner of Chicago's first black owned newspaper. Um, And, when he met Ida, he was 10 years older than she was. But he, you know, fell in love with her. And They got married later on, but I can tell you that he was the kind of husbands that most black women wish they could have. Even through her travels and, writing and investigating lynchings, um, she took her children with her. But Ferdinand made sure she had a nanny and a nurse everywhere she went. You know, she was a feisty something and he loved it. He loved everything about her. In fact, they were married for about 30 something years. The woman in the red sweater in the piece that I showed was her great granddaughter. And I'm going to close it out because there's so much more you can discuss about Queen Mother Ida B. Wells that I will have to do a whole 2 hour show on it. But um, I will close out in saying that in 2020, no, I have to say this because one of the things that really bothered her was in later in life is that people knew her name but didn't know what she did. In fact, she had to check Carter G. Woodson on that. Um, we'll get into that another time, but um, in 2020, she was awarded, of course, deceased. So that means her estate was awarded a Pulitzer Prize for her work in writing and reporting about lynchings. She was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 2020, and that came with a $50,000 endowment. Of course, it went to her estate, I'm sure. But please do yourself a favor, and if you can, get everything that she's written. Um, in particular, Southern Horrors, one of my favorites, and just read. She went to school to learn how to speak uh, proper, if you will, and did that. Paid for her own classes. I mean, this sister was about it. She didn't just talk about lynchings. She was a hunter investigator because a lot of these lynchings, these black men were accused of raping white women who willingly slept with these black men. A third of the black men who were lynched weren't even accused of a crime at all. And it really struck a nerve with her when one of her best friends, Tommy Moss, who was a businessman and a store owner, was lynched and murdered. Um, like I said, I wish I could get into more of that, but I would encourage all of you to read more about Sister Ida B. Wells. Now, I brought up Frederick Douglass because no one talks about his wife Anna. I would even bet if I go on a street with a microphone and ask people, "Do you know who Frederick Douglass is?" They'll say, "Yeah, a lot of people have heard of him." But if you ask someone what was the name of what was his wife's name, nobody can tell you. I'm pretty sure that nobody cared about his wife. Part of the reason is because he was a very private man, and that is, you can respect that. Um, Another part is that she was a private woman. They were married for about 40 years, but it was a trouble marriage at some point. Um, to have your spouse gone all the time, there were a lot of women who were writing Fred Douglass. Some he would, correspond with. Um, and he had his own issues. And you have to remember, coming out of enslavement, of course you're going to have issues. So it's no slight to Frederick Douglass, but tonight we want to talk about a little bit about Anna and, their tumultuous relationship. It's just a fact. So hold on, family. Sister Keisha always got the proof. I got the proof. Don't play with me. Hold on.
But Douglas will not tell us anything about his private life, especially his marriage. He hid everything he could about his marriages, relationships, his children.
His relationship with Anna Douglas is an enigma, a puzzle. And I think he wanted it that way.
Frederick Douglass had a wife? What? Why don't we know anything about her? Who was she? Who would be married to Frederick Douglass?
While he was traveling around the world speaking out against slavery, she would take care of the kids, she would take care of the finances, she would press his clothes so that he would be looking sharp.
She met Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, John Brown. Anybody who was anybody in the anti-slavery movement came to her house, but she tended to stay in the kitchen area or out in the garden or, in spaces where she was comfortable.
His marriage to Anna is both the center of his life, the heart of his family, but it also became increasingly, no doubt, what we moderns would call a difficult marriage. There's one letter he writes to a friend, a woman friend. He has lots of women correspondents. And he just unloads about how Anna has just read the riot act to him.
If I should write down all her complaints, there would be no room to put my name at the bottom. And by the time I am home, a week or two longer, I shall have pretty full learned in how many points there are needs of improvement in my temper and disposition as a husband and a father.
They were married 44 years, and I was angry at him after seeing the extent to which Frederick Douglass ignored her and her contributions to his life in his writing. But you don't do the kinds of things that Frederick Douglass did without some substantial ego going on. As to the whole question of fidelity, I can only say that it's much disputed.
Too many times, scholars, both black and white, have felt it necessary to remove the warts from prominent figures in African American history. Douglass had his flaws, he had his weaknesses. I think the more human we make our heroes, the more noble they become.
Well, there's always a poignant contrast between Douglass's private and public lives. That same virile Douglass that we have a visual image of also collapsed into depression, collapsed into almost incapacity at times under the pressure.
The demand upon my time and attention by my books and papers and by visitors are incessant. I am beginning to look upon a journey as a potential misfortune.
So there you have it. You can see that in its entirety. It's called Frederick Douglass in 5 Speeches. These are his writings that are read. You can download the HBO Max app and watch it in its entirety to see more about that. I just wanted our people to know who his wife was. A woman who held his family down, who held him down. And of course, they had their issues. She was frustrated with a lot of things. And who wouldn't be? There was a lot on both of them coming out of the conditions that they did. And, the world knows about Frederick Douglass, but it's about time that we understand the role of Anna Douglass. So, kudos to her on that. Brother Blacksmith on a check-in. What's good with you, brother? How you feeling?
Peace, sis. Peace to the world. Peace to the family. Peace to the nation. Peace to New York. Peace to United States. Peace to everybody out here on my voice. What's up, Keish?
That's what's up, my brother. I'm doing good. Just going through some things in our history. And of course, in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to discuss some things that are happening right now that a lot of people aren't talking about. And we have to discuss those things. So just bear with me, brother, as we go through this history. But what are your thoughts on Sister Anna Douglass?
I never really knew about her. I found out about Mrs. Douglass as a result of the controversy that Dr. Umar Johnson was going through when he was claiming same blood or being related to him some kind of convoluted way. He used to finish a lot of his lectures with that, and I'm sure some of y'all who were or are into him have seen him do that. Because for years, what I knew was that first of all, Frederick Douglass was half white. So let's get that out of the way. So that when to me, when it comes to people who are half, I kind of give them a pass because hey, that's still part of your culture. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm not getting into the personality of it. I'm just saying if you do that, that don't mean you're a bad person. But I knew that he was married and that his wife was very dark skinned, and a lot of people only like to talk about the fact that he finished out his life with a white woman.
Facts.
Right. So, as far as that's concerned, and like you said, that's a big part of it. How do you recover? It's like going to prison for 30 years. You are so institutionalized. So when you come from an institution like slavery, which is a form of prison,
right,
you're gonna have issues.
Right.
You're going to have issues. And we know his story from how he got free.
Right.
So, he had a hell of a life. He wasn't, he wasn't nobody to mess with like that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He probably used to beat her up or something. I hope not. I mean,
I hope not. But like you said, definitely they came through some tough conditions.
Correct. And he was a big man too.
Yes, he was.
So he was imposing. You know what I'm saying? So, when a woman had it, she don't care who you are. You gonna hear it. So that I can understand that relationship being very contentious. What I do respect about her though, and we have to acknowledge this, she too came out of this institution.
Facts.
She had her issues. Was she raped by the pastor every night for 10 years of her life? Was she getting whipped because she was ugly or whatever they considered lazy or something other than the regular ones that he kind of likes. So he just smack them every so often, but she getting a lash. You don't want to bang her, you don't want to touch her, you don't want to look at her. Like, get to her, get out my face.
Feel you.
So we all got issues. Now look at us as people that never went through none of that, and we got issues.
Facts.
Like Alton used to say, it's a badge of slavery. So with that, I'm done on that part.
100, brother. Thanks for that perspective. You were right and exact on that. Nothing to dispute there. So we're going to continue looking at some of the women of the UNIA because again, you have women who were key figures in that organization that nobody speaks of, don't even know their names. And on top of that, they had their own battles within the organization. Now, I teach this information because I want us to avoid making these same mistakes again. And it seems that Black organizations, including the church, still have these problems. And that's because either we refuse to see the history for what it is or study history in a bubble or in singular mode. And that is very, very dangerous. And so tonight, like I said, we're going to continue and talk about some of the women of the UNIA.
Okay.
You have, let me see. Here is a page from the book Set the World on Fire. And Amy Jacques Garvey is mentioned here. And it says, in the glorious future of the national independence in a free and redeemed Africa, achieved through organized purpose and organized action, embracing the core tenets of Black nationalism, including Black political self-determination, racial pride, and African redemption. Jacques Garvey played a crucial role in popularizing and preserving Garvey's ideas. When her husband was in prison in 1925 on charges of mail fraud, Jacques Garvey served as de facto leader of the UNIA, overseeing much of the organization's day-to-day activities from 1924 to 1927. Jacques Garvey edited the women's page of the Negro World. Our Women and What They Think, providing a significant platform for the UNIA women to articulate their views without direct male censorship. Now, people talk about the Negro World and the UNIA, and automatically, because I've asked folks, I'm not just flying off the cuff here, but people only talk about Garvey like he did it all, and that's impossible. It's impossible, and we have to stop teaching history in that way because it's very, very dangerous. Because, in my humble opinion, it puts us in leader mode, meaning we can't move unless we have a damn leader. That's a problem. That's a problem. And then you can't negate the work that these great sisters have done.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll continue. Now, here we go. Hold on. Let me move this up here. All right. While Jacques Garvey's leadership and influence was second to none, other women in the organization maintained critical positions in the UNIA, bringing a wide range of talents and skills to the table. This was the case for Henrietta Benton Davis, who became the organization's first female president and later maintained a number of prominent leadership positions in the organization. Now, I'm going to skip down to where it's highlighted here. In 1878, Davis became the first African American woman to be employed by the Office of the Recorder of Deeds, located in Washington, D.C. So again, she wasn't no just fly by night, sister. She was about it. She already had a career in doing things within the UNIA. Let's continue. Within 3 years, she became the UNIA's international organizer and concurrently maintained positions as vice president of the UNIA Shipping Corporation and one of the directors of the Black Star Line. In these years that followed, Davis, who remained unmarried and without children, held a number of highly visible leadership positions in the UNIA, including Secretary General and delegate to Liberia in 1924. This is crucial history. We have to be complete in our approach to history.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you go outside with a microphone in New York and ask people if they ever heard of Marcus Garvey, they'll tell you, yeah. Ask them about these sisters. They can't tell you nothing. And see, this is a problem. So, that's why I feel it is very, very important that we continue to teach history accurately.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
Because we've been under the thumb of white supremacy for so long now, I said this to you before, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. We tend to think in the filter of what white people think like, and that's why the history gets skewed that way. When you read better history, I mean, even if they just refer to the wife and give a brief bio, you usually find that stuff, and then you can further research that on your own. What I try to do when I write is whet people's appetite and give them like, okay, I can't get into this because that's a whole nother topic. But here's the information if you want to further research it. It's like what I tell people when they ask me, what does it mean to be a targeted individual or to be gangster? I'm like, you could go on Google and you'll get 10 million hits for each word alone. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how bad do you really want it? So what I'm saying is we know that Amy played a big role. I never knew Mrs.
Henrietta Benton Davis.
Douglas. I never knew Douglas family intimately or who his wife was, but I did know that she had, again, from Umar. Whether you like him or not is neither here nor there. See, what I want people to understand as far as Umar, I'm going to get on that for a second and then go back to the Douglases, is if you can't stand them because you gave him $10,000 and he shitted on the money, at least respect the knowledge that he does have, because that without knowing who Umar Johnson was to see the lecture where he said those things that I'm saying, I would have never knew Frederick Douglass had a wife myself.
Well, here's the issue, and that's why I'm teaching in the way that I am tonight.
Okay.
Is because we like to excuse away bad behavior, and that's also problematic. I understand the perspective and know the perspective that you've given us as far as the damage and trauma that we all face within this country.
Right.
And so that is clear. But we cannot allow these things to continue because it is very damaging
Yes,
to
ma'am.
the progression of us as a race. So we're going to continue here. Brother Ashe SJ on a check-in. We're going to continue here, family. Hold on one second while Brother Ashe do what he doing in the back. Here we go. Hold on. Let's continue. Let me see. Get Keisha a minute. Okay. Now we're on page 28. And by the way, family, this is from the book Set the World on Fire by Dr. Keisha N. Blaine. African descent and emphasize the significance of Black-owned businesses and institutions to better serve the needs of Black communities. A race woman through and through, as she described herself, Casely Hayford remained committed to racial uplift politics, public service, and leadership in Black communities in Africa and in other parts of the globe. Nobody knows this woman. Nobody knows this woman. And she was a delegate for the UNIA around the world. Let's continue. Hold on, family. And you know, like again, I said, family, read at your own pace, at your own time to get more in-depth information. But we're gonna continue here. Let's read on. Back to Sister Henrietta Vinton Davis, Brother Black. I wanted to point this out because the Black Cross Nurses Auxiliary was established by Henrietta Vinton Davis in 1921 in Philadelphia to provide a range of services in Black communities throughout the United States and around the world. These women not only offered medical services to Black families, but also provided health education strategies. Black Cross nurses employed to administer their community work, and the nature of their day-to-day activities vary from locale to locale. In Richmond, Virginia, the Black Cross Nurses Auxiliary taught new mothers how to care for their babies, offered information about birth control, and organized community workshops on nutrition and sanitation. In New Orleans, Black Cross nurses often contributed to the medical care of women in that area at that time. So these are key roles in the UNIA that help maintain the organization, that drew people to the organization. So when you speak about the UNIA, you cannot leave these sisters out of history because they played a critical role in gaining members for the organization. Garvey himself believed in true leadership of women and men. But of course, again, as he was going through his own issues, things begin to go awry within the organization. You had some people in there was some infighting that was going on. You know, again, like I mentioned earlier, you know, his wife took over leadership when he was incarcerated. Not only did she take over leadership, but she appointed other women to take leadership roles. Let's continue. Hold on, family. We show improve over here. That's what we do. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's expand.
So you wrote this book, huh?
I wish I did. Rank and file women in the UNIA frequently challenge the organization's leadership structure, design more autonomous leadership position without male oversight. During an afternoon session of the 1922 UNIA convention in Harlem, a group of Garveyite women publicly resisted their subordinate positions in the organization. Although they could serve as delegates to the organization's conventions, women encountered a number of difficulties being recognized by Garveyite men who presided over these sessions, insisting that they had not received proper recognition during previous sessions. These women addressed the convention with a list of grievances. When we, the women of the UNIA and ACL, they stated, know that no race can rise higher than its woman, reflecting their proto-feminist awareness. Now, proto-feminists don't mean they feminists. This proto means before the feminist movement. So y'all can look up what that means afterwards, but that's what that means. UNIA women went on to emphasize the value of women's autonomous leadership, which they argue was critical to refine and mold public sentiment.
Yes, ma'am.
Speaking on behalf of women, Victoria W. Turner, a delegate from St. Louis, presented a list of 5 recommendations designed to improve the status of women in the organization. First, she asked that a woman be appointed head of the Black Cross Nurses and Motor Corps and have absolute control over those women. Second, Turner asked that the women in the UNIA be given more recognition by being placed on every committee in order to be better informed about the inner workings of the organization. This tells you that they were trying to get people to see the importance of them being recorded in history.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you look at any organization, let's look at the church. It's nothing without Black women. Absolutely nothing. And I can say that. Anybody who disputes that, I dare you, because I got the facts to prove it. It's absolutely nothing. They are the bread and basket of any church, and everybody knows that. You can't run it. And it seems that Black organization after Black organization after Black organization, which are often modeled after churches, which is unfortunate. They should be modeled after businesses so that they can maintain a historical reference on how they proceed in the works that they do for the community. But that's a problem. That's a problem. And it goes back to what you said, is because of the psychological trauma. Our brothers want to be heard and respected and loved without a shadow of a doubt. And unfortunately, they adapt the same type of leadership mentality as white men.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. Brother Ashe and myself can point to a lot of Black organizations that have faltered once the women were gone or passed away or so on and so forth. They are no longer in existence. There is rarely a youth core to organizations. I mean, even the Black church got a youth core, but all Black organizations, they die out because those in positions of leadership want to maintain it as a dictatorship, and it fails. It fails. So I'm not throwing jabs at anybody. I'm just giving us the facts in history so that we can stop making these same mistakes. Well, so when I started out, when I started out, I started out with Sister Ida B. Wells-Barnett. And if you would call her Ida B. Wells, she would get pissed off and cuss you out. She said, no, I'm Ida B. Wells-Barnett. You are not leaving my husband out of the equation because you don't see him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut your wisdom. Go ahead. What
No,
you
no,
gonna say?
no. I'm glad you said that. I was well. I never knew these things. Tonight I'm learning from you. So I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Go ahead, just keep talking. I'm like, wow, I'm floored over here. You know what I'm saying?
We got our brother Ashe SJ in the check-in. What's up, brother Ashe? What's good with you?
Chilling. Nah, you right. Absolutely right. When Keisha get in that zone and she educating and been studying and presenting, like, you got to just pull your notebook out, get your pencil, your paper, and just really take it in and soak it in. But
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm going to say is like, I mean, women are the key to organization. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about a organization. I'm talking about organization skills. Men, we unorganized. We know what we want to do, and we got muscle, and we're going to try to force it to happen. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use our muscles and try to force this to happen. Whether we break it or not, we're going to try to make it happen. A sister going to come in your life and straighten you out and say, look, you're foolish right now. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, like Keisha said, a lot of brothers have that ego, you know, that we call it African ego, right? But I don't like to say that, you know, because we say our brothers and sisters on the continent, especially men on the continent, are extremely prideful and have a large ego, and it's truth to that. But I don't think that's a trait. I mean, it might be to some extent, but I don't think it was vicious the way it is now back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And like Keisha said, we adopted these Eurocentric traits. You know what I'm saying? To where now we are aggressive against our counterpart, our complement, the black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even if not even focusing on these organizations, you know, UNIA, so on and so forth. If you're talking about a goddamn household, you talking about you a brother and you in a household, you come, your crib is unorganized. You might have a lot of stuff here and there. You know what I'm saying? Sister, come in, move this around, rearrange, get your feng shui right. You know what I'm saying? Put the couch over here and, you know, the TV over here. Like, clean the crib. Like, it's organized now. That's a skill, a natural skill that they have. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say like it's specific gender roles and it can't be vice versa, but they just talented at certain things and we not. You know what I'm saying? So for a man to think that he gonna have any type of, even on a minuscule level, like in life, you know, in your household, but on a more grand level, having an actual functioning organization, and think that you're not gonna have the black woman front and center, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to making decisions and things of that nature, it's bound to fall apart. It's just a matter of time, you know what I'm saying? And me as a man, I wouldn't want to in a goddamn room with nothing but other men. You know what I'm saying? I just don't rock like that. Like, you feel me? Like, I don't understand what kind of dude would want to be in a room and it's nothing but other men, unless you vibing and you building on something for a second. Yeah, but after a second, even in that room, after a while, you're going to get tired of that. You're going to be like, hold on, all right, we got to do something after this now.
I say, sound like, I'm sorry.
It's too much glizzies in the room. That's what the kids say now. Glizzies. There's too many glizzies in the room. We got to balance that out. But when we talk about that, that's what we talk about, balance.
Right.
And to keep it a stack, throughout history, I don't think there is a black man in history that we call a quote unquote leader that hasn't had a queen right on his side. Maybe not in the spotlight. Like, I wouldn't want to be her to be in the spotlight either. If that's her role and that's what she's doing, and I'm not gonna hold her back. But I'm gonna prevent that. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I want to prevent anything from happening as far as keeping her safe and things of that nature. But if the sister got a strength, then you got to let the sister shine. That's why, you know, that's what these sisters was doing when Keisha shared the passage, you know, talking about it's very important for them to be recorded in history, because throughout history, like I said, there's always been a sister there. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about your family, you talk about your mother. That's the first sister. You know what I'm saying? That organized your life and put you together. You know what I'm saying? So for some brothers to get sidetracked and think like, oh, you know, because I got testosterone or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? My voice is deeper or something, like I'm gonna be on the spotlight. Nah, get them queens they crown. You know, they deserve it. They well owned, and there's some strong sisters. We do not need to go into the history of the warrior queens. You know what I'm saying? We can save that for another show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show, bro.
Being a sister is definitely not a weakness for some of these brothers to be like, nah, we're not going to, you know, hold you down and give you like what's rightfully due to you and your props and things of that nature. So throughout history, like we say, it's always the importance of independent media. You know, like all platforms, things of that nature. We gotta highlight our queens. You know what I'm saying? Instead of waiting for other people to do it, because we waiting for other people to do it. These other people that we waiting for, they don't even highlight they goddamn. I can't even use the same word, queen. Nah, they a white queen. That don't sound right. A white queen. What's a new name? Put a new name for them in the chat room. If y'all watching right now, I don't know what to call them, but it's not a queen.
Oh
but
gosh,
it's,
Ashay is hilarious.
Hey, Ashay, an influencer?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say I ain't calling them no damn queen, but they counterpart, they don't even put their counterpart in the goddamn spotlight and give them what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about the ones that beat and brutalize women, it's their ass. If anything, we learned it from their asses. You know, unfortunately. So,
I look at it like this, real quick. I look at it like this. If my wife was famous, you know, beautiful, glitzy, all up in the media and all this and that, we know about entertainment and how it's handled and all that. So when we get to that, Keisha, you know, I'm getting a little ahead, but to make the comparison, what I'm saying is if my wife was, you know, Beyonce or, you know, somebody famous, rich, good looking, beautiful, the it girl of the moment, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to let her be that person. And when she come home and we at home together, it's me and her. She ain't with them 10 million fans out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and vice versa. You know, if my wife wasn't a high profile type, why should you be seen other when you need to be seen? You're supposed to be at home taking care of the children. You know what I'm saying? Not because that's your role. You know, we live in a day and age of digital and stuff like that. You could be making $10 million a month on this computer right here. So, you know, like that.
Yo, the crazy
part. She said you could call them Cave Becky's, and Brother Belt said Ice Crickets.
Ice Crickets. I've never heard that one. Wow. Now, I just want to say real quick, Keisha, the crazy part about it, right? When we're talking about in terms of history, right? These devils know their importance. Like what I was saying about independent Black-owned media just now, or their media, you know what I'm saying, that they have established for ages, they know the importance of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why right now in this day and age, when you see the propaganda, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, the propaganda, the message that they sending in the direction of the people that they wanted to send is not even a Black man, it's the Black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about commercials, movies, all of this stuff. Even if you talk about Women's History Month, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we still in it. Of course, we claiming it as Black Women History Month, Black Queen. We're going to hold them down. But at the same time, we see what's going on. They trying to water down and mix the message to the sisters out there and put it all inclusive as, all women are the same and things of that nature, like Black queens that have a different struggle from these devils and all these other people out here. You know what I'm saying? Like Black queens don't deserve their own Black Queen Month, which shout out to Baba Baruti. He already, what is it? Warrior Women's Month. I forgot which month it is, but that's something that he created a while back. You know what I'm saying? But we see the propaganda where they try to include Women's History Month, and then it turns into the feminist movement, and then it turned into the LGBTQ. Look at that, the leaders of that movement. You know what I'm saying? All women, white and mostly Black women as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it gets tied in together as just a woman thing and not just a Black woman thing or a Black family thing, then that's when they get the messages all mixed up, and they can lead the people in the direction that they want them to lead in, which is not Black nation building, Black power. You know what I'm saying? So they know the importance of it. So if we don't continue to do it ourselves, brothers and sisters, tell our own stories, tell our own messages, they are going to do it for us. They are trying to do it right now. They're starting to do it, family. And I already see, because this year, Women's History Month is a bigger Women's History Month than last year or all the years before. So next Women's History Month, believe me, that propaganda, mark my words right now, that propaganda going to be way bigger. They see also there's a lot of money to be made in Women's History Month.
Oh, for sure.
Come on, Ashay, come on.
They're going to start highlighting Black women, but which Black women are they going to highlight? Let's think about it. Are they gonna come to the warrior queens, the black ones that's unapologetic? That's
I
like,
know
yo, I
they
ain't going for nothing. Or are they gonna go straight to the ones that you seeing already that's being highlighted that, yeah, they might have a black-owned business or something like that. But what's their agenda? What they dealing with? Who's they compliment? Who they partner? Is it a black man? Or is it a white man? Or is it a white woman or a black woman? You know what I'm saying? So they only picking and choosing the people, the black women that they want to highlight for Women's History Month that fits their agenda. So this is what they're gonna do, and they're gonna turn it into Women's History Month, only highlighting the people that fit their agenda. So we got to do it ourselves, family. Go ahead, Black. You want to say something?
I want to ask Keisha a quick question. What you think of Judge Jackson, the nominee right now?
That's a whole show.
Wow.
That's a whole show.
Okay, just asking.
We can deal with that next week. Sister Vanessa. For real. We gonna deal with that next week, brother. You know. But I do like the fact that Cory Booker was on her side in that hearing. But we'll deal with that next week.
Okay.
You gotta deal with that. Because we're gonna run through a couple of more things and then we're gonna go into what you and I discussed earlier.
Okay.
And then I gotta ask Ashay some questions. So hold on, family.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this real quick, family. Hold on. Here we go. Give me a second. Now, this was after Garvey's incarceration. Check this out. When Garvey returned, he dismissed these women's concerns, suggesting that the resolutions were unnecessary since the UNIA's constitution already recognized women as leaders, even though he insisted that he didn't see any reason for the resolutions. Garvey agreed to accept a modified version of the resolutions 4 and 5. To that effect, he suggested that rather than giving women initiative positions to formulate constructive plans to alleviate UNIA women, as Turner had requested, they would instead be encouraged to formulate such plans. Moreover, while he claimed to accept the premise that women should function without restriction from men, Garvey insisted on amending the 5th resolution to make it clear that there would be no severance of the women from the men in the work of organization. Now, here's the problem. Well, let me continue here, and then I'll give my 2 cents, and then we'll move on to the next topic. In the end, Garveyite women's action in 1922 convention did not precipitate any immediate monumental changes within the UNIA. However, their actions did not demonstrate the rhetoric and tactics they were cultivating. Proto-feminists. Remember, proto means before, so don't get it twisted, family. Their resolutions also exposed a hierarchy structure in the organization, which failed to provide an equal place for women. Although Garvey claimed that the UNIA was organized and was an organization, that recognized women, he did not acknowledge that women held unequal positions in the to their male counterparts. In effect, the women's resolution shed light on the core of the issue. Opportunities for a handful of women to hold positions of prominence could not remedy the patriarchal leadership structure of the UNIA, in which women lack full autonomy and equality. Exposing a proto-feminist politics, UNIA women openly expressed their growing sense of dissatisfaction in the male-dominant and masculine organization and refused to sit quietly as Garvey and other men reinforced traditional gender constructions that limited leadership opportunities for women. Now, in saying that, and if you read, once you get the book and you read a little bit more, you understand that, for example, a man can't tell me anything about giving birth. I don't give a damn how many degrees you have. You can't tell me a goddamn thing about labor. Nothing. In fact, when I was giving birth to my child, her father was right by my side. I wanted him gone, and my mother and my grandmother was there. He couldn't tell me a goddamn thing. He was very patient, rubbing my head, rubbing my hand. But it was my mother and my grandmother that told me to lay on my side, do things, put my body in positions to alleviate that pain. No man can tell me nothing about that. Not a guy. A woman can't tell you how to hold a penis and pee. She can't. She can't, and she shouldn't. Like, get the hell out of here with that. So, in the Black core nurses, when they were teaching women about that, you had men who were saying, well, you shouldn't be talking about this, you should be doing that. And they like, who the hell are you? You can't tell us nothing. But because this need to be in authority, it caused conflict. And the women were telling Garvey, you can't tell us a goddamn thing about that either. You know nothing about having a menstrual cycle. Nothing. So you can't tell me nothing. I don't want your input on that either. So these are the things that they had a lot of issues with. And there was a lot of infighting. But again, we got to continue this next week. We're going to deal with some more women because this is Black Women's History Month, and we're going to close out right here. So we'll continue this next week, but we're going to move on. Now, I started out talking about the greatness of our women and the works that they've done in many organizations, but we are in a crisis right now with missing and exploited women and girls. Seriously, in a crisis.
Yes, ma'am.
It falls on deaf ears with a lot of folks. And we have to change that paradigm. If we are Black media, we should be talking about what's happening with us continuously. And we don't. You can scroll through the gamut of streaming. Not many, very, very few are talking about missing and exploited Black women. Brother Black, it's on you.
Okay. I sent you the article a little while ago. It's real heavy.
Here you go.
I'm happy. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, making sure. Okay, I'm so happy because about 2-3 years ago, I don't know if you remember, late 2019, maybe 18, when a lot of people were all over social media, especially Black people living in the hood. It's crazy because I seen a few people that I knew making those kind of videos that I haven't seen in maybe 10, 15 years. They still living in New York somewhere, and like, wow, I used to work with that person, or wow, I remember that dude from this place or that place. And remember a few years ago when a lot of people were making videos to watch their kids because there was people snatching them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that was as a result of Trump shutting down the adrenochrome labs, soon after he got into office. Now, y'all remember, again, when I mention his name, I don't care about how you feel about him. You can hate his guts to the day you die and you live in another 100 years. I don't care about that. But one of the first pledges he made was to stop that. The underground pedophile mills and factories that they got underground, all these cities, including New York. Okay. And so most of these Black people are missing. And we're going to focus on the children more than the adults, because they're about probably 50% of the missing of us. Okay. And most of them are down there with a tap on their spine, giving up their adrenochrome after they get their daily rape and beatings and torture in order for them to produce this adrenalized blood. And so the reason why they get most of us, because first of all, we're less cared about in society. And second of all, the adrenochrome is creamier and smoother. And so it's easier to drink as opposed to it being lumpy and, the quality grade, according to them, for what they need it for, is probably not of a great quality. So we got to focus on that. And when I focus on all the things that the deep state is doing, it's with that intention and with that thought in mind. The children first. They haven't even had a chance yet. You know what I'm saying? We already lived a good part of our lives, and hopefully we keep on living because it ain't over. I'm not trying to say, we old and over the hill. No. But what I'm saying is they got to come up and replace us, and we have to continue. So that's my part in saying that, as far as all them people missing. And you need to be involved in doing something to stopping that, because that, at the end of the day, is what finances these people. More than arms, more than drugs, and more than prostitution combined. They making money off Ray Ray and, Ronika over there. You know what I'm saying? They tapping. You think they dead somewhere in the ocean somewhere. Somebody dumped them off. Nah, they in a laboratory downstairs about 2,000 miles away from you.
So again, it's very important highlight now in this article, and you guys can follow them. They have a Facebook page, or also Black and Missing. And I'll post it on the Thorough Black Talk page so you guys can follow. But you had these two sisters who took it upon themselves, because of things that happened within their own families, to devise a task force to look for these people, to bring attention to these people who are missing. And that's very, very noble. What are their names? Derica and Natalie Wilson. 40% of Black people missing. Excuse me, 40% of all people missing are Black. If this is not a crisis, I don't know what is.
Yes.
But you can't get, politicians to even discuss these things today. See, Thorough Black Talk, we don't play. Even in Clubhouse, when these politicians is talking, yeah, we pull up. Me and Tad was in the room today, but you heard nothing about this. Nothing. And I kept raising my hand and speaking. Of course, I think they starting to recognize who I am, because I pull up in a lot of these rooms. And it was with Jamani Williams, the sister India, who won a congressional seat in Buffalo. She was hosting it. Excuse me, not congressional, council seat in Buffalo. And she was hosting it. And you had some media people in there. And me and Brother Tad was dead center, but no mention of this, as if it isn't a crisis. So how do you propose that we bring to the fore this critical problem that we have within our community?
Is that for me or Ashe?
For you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I want to be sure. I don't want to cut nobody off.
It's all right. It's all right.
Man. Well, I mean, great question, Keisha. What I would say is this: knowing there was, at that time, like I said, 2-3 years ago, when it was a lot of snatchings on the street and people talking about it, like an outcry, not like like, yo, the other day, I was sitting in front of my house on my stoop smoking a cigarette, and this guy just jumps out the car and try to grab little, Susie from down the block. I know that girl parents when they was young. You know what I'm saying? So, that kind of stuff. And so informing the people, and this is my intent. I don't know if you noticed, But whenever we get into a deep conversation, or excuse me, a deep topic like this, it always comes back to the children.
Yes.
That is the currency. That's why Bitcoin ain't based on nothing. It's based on whatever the hell you send it.
It is. That's a fact.
Exactly. So it's the perfect way to use it. There was I should have noted this, but I've been going through some stuff. I'll tell you about it maybe at the end if we get to it. But what I'm saying is, there was somebody who received 12 thumbnails worth of information that was typed and put through a typewriter and then scanned, so they wouldn't have to send it over internet lines, because anything go over the internet, you can intercept it and hack into it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they sent it to the wrong person. So this person got them and was going to send them back. But when they looked at it, and it was in the Ukraine. It was the list of like the actual names of these people and how much their adrenochrome was worth, blah, 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 so on and so on, listing thousands of pages. Yeah. So this is how serious this is. And that earthquake that happened in Taiwan yesterday or early this morning, I believe the Chinese are already there. They probably already halfway through that operation.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? They just not saying it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to, because the deal was already made. That's why I tell y'all, this is all a script. None of this happening is by very little of it. Then let's say it like that. We talked about the Hunter Biden laptop last week. That's all over the place now.
Facts.
Got my blog shut down because I put a picture up there with him and his niece, and she was in a 90. I thought because I got it online that it was all right to repost it. I didn't look nowhere dark for it. I went straight to a site. It was there.
Right.
It's still there. I saw it today. My blog, my email, and my YouTube account.
Whoa.
Yeah. Right now, I'm like a man with no home as far as emails.
You out there in the wilderness, brother. You in the wilderness right now. I feel you.
Yeah.
But, brother, I'll share your thoughts on this crisis that we're facing right now with so many of our people missing. And the numbers aren't decreasing, it's increasing. And yet, this is not on the lips of everybody, because frankly, we need some street teams ASAP. And I've always said that for a long time. We need street teams ASAP. Especially as these children are coming out of school, especially them who go home alone by themselves. You have women who are working, especially during this pandemic, working double and triple shifts, coming home in the middle of the night. We need street teams ASAP, and we need the Warrior Kings to be on it. But brother, I'll share your perspective.
When y'all was talking, it made me think of this this meme. It's a very popular meme. I don't know if y'all seen it on social media. It's not even a meme. It's like a full video, right? But it's viral. Like, people keep sharing it and reposting it. And now they got this thing where you could share it and also like talk or show your video on top of that video. So it's a white boy, right? And it's crazy. I'm seeing like so many black people resharing and reposting and showing their support for it. And I'm just like, it's crazy. It's this devil. He talking about the rapid cases of killings and kidnappings of black people. And his solution, I guess he called himself being a down devil. But his solution, he's saying, oh, well, if black people are upset that all these killings and all these kidnappings keep happening, all they got to do to fix it is one easy solution. Every black person should take out $1 million life insurance policy. I don't know if y'all heard this before, right? But
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, this thing got me tight. I'm watching it. I'm like, man, this dude is an idiot. And the black people that are supporting and reposting and saying, yeah, this devil is down, he right, because his logic is saying, if somebody dies and the insurance company figures out that they got to pay $1 million, it's a lot of different things that they got to do in their process to actually pay the $1 million. And then also they got to give the money up. So they don't like to do that work, and they don't like to give that money away as far as insurance companies go. So the people, as far as the insurance companies and these devils, would prevent and put the pressure on all of these people that are trying to murder and kidnap Black people. That's the logic behind it. But my thing is this, that thing is ridiculous, because first of all, we already know that these devils move the tape and change the rules of the game whenever they feel like it. So you telling me that these devils that created this paper, you know what I'm saying, that we call currency or we call money now, they created it, and now they taking it out of the goddamn systems where they trying to make it all digital. So the paper don't even matter. But you mean to tell me that they gonna stop killing and murdering and doing something that they love naturally to do because of money, when they got money to burn, for one, and for two, they'll just change the rules up. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust none of them when it comes to law, when it comes to legality, when it comes to money, when it comes to all that. They just change the rules up. So it'll be some clause in the insurance policy. You know what I'm saying? And even so, even if they had to pay $1 million, right? Some of these devils out here, y'all seen Hostel. Y'all think that movie Hostel, y'all think that was fictional, just fictional? Y'all think it's not real hostels in the world where people don't go to, where they just go to have sex or whatever? It's people in the world that pay to have experiences. Some of these experiences count as murdering people and getting off scot-free. You know, some of these experiences are, as you can see, Epstein Island and all this, having sex with children. These people got money to burn. They could pay for that. They could, if they get caught, they could pay for the lawyer fee to get. They could pay to go to jail for the rest of their life and live in a 5-star goddamn jail cell. You know what I'm saying? So these people got money to burn, and this is something they naturally like to do, is murdering our people. So you gonna tell me that because of some life insurance policy that they're gonna stop? First of all, that don't even stop the problem from happening. That just prevents. He's saying that, oh, the people are going to get paid money. Yeah, but the point of the matter is these people are still comfortable enough to murder and kill and kidnap our people and do every other devilish thing that they could do. They still feel comfortable enough to do it. So that's the point. It's not about feeling comfortable. Feeling uncomfortable because they're going to lose money when they do it. It's about knowing that it's going to be physical repercussions when you deal with somebody that's Black and you mistreat them. That's what it's supposed to be about. But somehow we get caught up as Black people and we still trying to take the easy way out. Oh, you know, matter of fact, hold up. Now that I think about it, I didn't even think about this until I said it now. Does this devil that made this video work for a goddamn life insurance company? Is he trying to sell life policies?
Facts.
You feel me? Like, you don't
It's
know
like
what
the dentist.
coming
It's like,
at, bro.
It's like the dentist that always giving you that super sweet candy, right?
I don't know, but all I'm saying is, yo, he could be low key. His pops could own some company or whatever, or he just trying to. Either way, it's for the. Remember, I told you about that slogan, Coors Light. You see these devils down south drinking Coors Light or wearing a Coors Light hat. You know it ain't just Coors Light. That stands for Comrades of Our Racial Struggle, Coors. So It could just. He don't matter about it. Don't matter about that. He like whatever. As long as it's a devil that's benefiting, he good. He winning his war. He winning his race war. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they could be doing that to say. So now the logic behind it, that these Black people are falling victim to it and saying, "Oh, this is great. Let me repost it." Their logic now, they agree with this. Now I'm trying to understand what they thinking. Like, so they thinking, okay, what this devil said made a lot of sense. Let me go out and pay the devil not to kill me. Does that make sense? That don't make no goddamn sense. If the devil wants your money, he gonna take it regardless. You know what I'm saying? And they got plenty of money to go around. So I'm not paying no goddamn devil, no goddamn life insurance to not kill. Please protect. That's like asking for protection. Literally. Your life insurance is one form of protection, but you gotta pay to get the life insurance. To get protect, you gotta pay them to protect you, and then pay them if you die, they go protect you by giving you the money. So you double paying now. God damn.
There's a saying that goes, the white man makes perfect sense until it comes to you. I'm sure you heard it before, bro. He make
white folks are rational on everything except race.
Exactly. It don't make no sense, man. And our people keep falling victim to it over and over just because they hear something they never heard before. It sound good, or these people use big words, or they talking about business and life insurance policies and money and all of that. We get caught up in the money and living in the material and a better life that we forget the moral and the principle about it, the core values. You know what I'm saying? These people are supposed to respect us, you know? And in a perfect world, we're supposed to be equal, right? You're supposed to treat your brother and sister with love, right? But we know time and time again, history has shown that these people have a love deficiency. You know what I'm saying? They can't do it. No matter what you try, we decades after hundreds of years, they just can't do it, family. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go and pay them body life insurance to protect us. And if we do die, if they still kill us afterwards, at least we get $1 million to spend when we in heaven, right? We have a nice shiny casket. I'm gonna have the best casket on the block. My Yeezy gonna make my casket. There's gonna be Louis Vuitton in the casket. $1 million casket. What? I'm straight. I'm gonna be living. You feel me? I'm dripped out with my casket. You know what I'm saying?
You gonna be holding 30K on your ear?
and then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that $1 million. That $1 million gonna go to my child, and they gonna buy the same $1 million I gave them. They gonna put that to get another $1 million life policy, and then they gonna kill their ass. And the tradition gonna keep going over and over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? So, but at least we all got $1 million life insurance policy.
You gonna live long, man. Don't go nowhere yet, man.
That is my young lion. You see what I'm
gonna go in there and get you and pull you back in.
Boy, the young lion came with it. That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I got that video so many times. And I sent the, emoji back rolling my eyes every time somebody sent me that stupidness. Like, I got it like 4 or 5 times in my inbox. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. This whole thing with this WNBA player who was held in Russia for allegedly carrying cannabis oil or weed into the country. What do you know about that, Brother Black? Can you give us some insight?
I believe it was wax. I don't know if you smoke, but there's a thing called wax. It's kind of like some vaporized hashish, if you will. So I've smoked it once or twice, so I don't know about it like that. But it was very minuscule. They're saying that was a revenge arrest for the Americans protesting when and sanctioning Russia when they went into Ukraine. But from what I understand, she's not in a like jail or prison. She's more like in a house arrest kind of situation. I don't think she's being regulated by security guards, like as far as having to piss in a bottle every day and behind bars until she sees a judge. Now I don't know, but I understand that. Yeah, well, it's probably 6-7 hours difference between us and them. The consulate went to see her yesterday, but I don't think they put out a report because I checked on it maybe an hour before the show, and it just said that she was had contact with the consulate, so she'll probably be getting out of there. Okay. It's not like she murdered somebody or did some craziness. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I just didn't pay too much attention, and I know you would be on it.
Yeah.
But in other news, still the shenanigans with Mr. Kanye West.
Okay.
All the things that are going on, I believe that he will be the next celebrity put into conservatorship. What do you think?
As far as he's concerned, knowing his history, see, let me just say this real quick, because even back then, it wasn't as many people hating him, but a lot of people wasn't liking him because of his ways. But we forget that Kanye West went off script to say that George Bush didn't care about black people. We forget about that. And that's something that really kind of like means to me, and either not a student of history or you totally forgot about that. Because before his mama died, he always showed himself to be on the side of black people. A lot of people don't even talk about that he's behind maybe some of the money, you know what I'm saying? But he's behind the Free Fred Hampton movement. Or is it Fred Hampton or is it somebody else? Did I say the right name?
You're talking about Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover. I'm sorry. There you go. Thank you, Ashe. He's behind, I don't know if he's behind it, but he's definitely supporting it.
It's him. No, it's him.
Okay, so thank you. So, and what I'm saying is that like with Trump, before he got officially out of office, a lot of people, you got to mention that too. If you want to say he's crazy, he's doing this, he's doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? I believe, this is belief now, this is not fact. I believe that ever since he went to go see Trump and his hair was blonde and he had just came out the tank and whatever, blah, 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 I believe that he is the distraction because infiltration works both ways. So he could be a good guy distraction. Stop hating him for something. You don't know him personally. Why hate him? You don't know what he's doing.
I just feel that he will be the next person they put into conservatorship.
Who's going to put him in that?
Who knows? Who knows?
Keisha,
you never know about what's going on with these Kardashians. And to your point, a lot of people blame him for what went wrong in their marriage. First of all, I could care less.
Exactly.
You have to look at this chick's behavior. This is marriage number 3 that she failed in. So who's the failure here? Him or her? The numbers are simple. People, what King Simon said, numbers is easy. People are complicated, right?
Yeah.
So she had 3 failed marriages. Everybody who comes into contact with that family is always an issue and a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you never know. Here you have a billionaire. If they could do it to Britney Spears and what's her name? The other white girl and Whitney Williams and
R. Kelly.
There you go. What makes Kanye any different? We're dealing in a society that is predicated on thievery.
Keisha, what's the article?
What'd you say, Ashe? You said what article?
Yeah, you said he's in the news. Which one you talking about?
No, I'm saying, all of the antics, that they are portraying with him in the news. This whole thing with D.L. Hughley, his ex-wife, children, his new girlfriend, and so on and so forth. These are steps that I've seen other celebrities go through, and now their possessions are held in conservatorship. So I'm saying, is it possible that he be the next one that they put into conservatorship?
No, you know what I will say?
I'm sorry.
No, you know what I will say? I mean, I understand Keisha's point with that, because you got to remember too, right now, just like yesterday or the day before, he might still be right now, but his Twitter was banned. He was banned from Twitter for 2 days.
Right.
And also, he just got removed from the Grammys. What was that? Last night or tonight or tomorrow?
That was last week. That was last week.
He got removed from the Grammys. He was supposed to be like one of the top performers and was going to get awards and all that. And they removed his thing from the Grammys. So I understand what Keisha's saying about that too. I mean, I don't put nothing past these devils. But the one thing I will say though is Kanye has a lot of power. And remember, Kanye is playing that game. He's not like some revolutionary black person at all. Like Kanye West is a humanist. Kanye will tell you, he said it before. I didn't even watch the documentary yet, but I've seen it before where he was talking about basically like his theory behind like, having a child and multiple kids with Kim Kardashian. Why it seems like he only date white women is because he's trying to bring the two together. So it's like, now you can't hate on black or white people because now we the same person now because we mixed. So he trying to mix the races. You know what I'm saying? So that's his theory on being a humanist. He's for both. He's not for black people. He's for both black and white people. You know what I'm saying? Just like Obama said, I'm not the president of Black America. I'm the president of America. And that's what Kanye West is in my eyes. He thinks like he's going to do some things that he could do for black people and then still be free and do for everybody. So that's what he's on. So in that sense, on the fact that he also does have a lot of power, and I'm talking about like he's doing so he's about to even get even bigger than what he is now, like with this STEM player and all of this stuff, like this technology that he got going on. Like Jeff Bezos came to his goddamn concert. Jeff Bezos came to Kanye West's concert and they tapped in. You know what I'm saying? So Kanye West is doing his thing and he has power, but it's all falling under the umbrella of their puppeteer. You know, like I feel like they still see Kanye as like, oh, we still got him. We still got him under control. It would be the day when he actually steps out, which I don't think he will ever do anymore. Step out. I'm talking about step out for black people and be like, I'm only black people. He'd never do that again because one, he compromised. All his children are half white. You know what I'm saying? So he'll never be able to go back to that old Kanye that Blacksmith is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not who he is. Like he's in a melting pot. He wants to be like that. He wants the world to be like that. You know? So I think now that he's still playing their game, because even though they're banning his Twitter and they banning his Grammys, I honestly feel like that doesn't matter to Kanye. Because Kanye West right now, tomorrow could create his own goddamn Instagram or Twitter or all of that. And if he does, everybody will switch over and start using it just like that. That's how much power this man has. Kanye West right now, as far as black people, might be the closest thing. Who else would you compare as far as influence? We talking about like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? We talking about like powerful people. Like whether you don't like his music or not, or you don't like Kanye West or not, you can't deny that anything this man does and touches, it blows up in a good way. And it's not over yet. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see some big things from Kanye West coming up. So, you know, he's probably like the top influence on an influential level when it comes to black people right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so Jesus, right? So, you know, on that, I would say like I see what Keisha's saying, and they definitely are trying to at some levels, but I also feel like he hasn't crossed that line with them yet. Right now, they trying to show him like we could do, but what they doing, he don't care about the Grammy. He showed that he went on stage and took microphones from Taylor Swift. They tried to cancel Kanye West how many times? How many times they tried to cancel him? You can't cancel Kanye West. You can't. The only way you could cancel, the only thing that I would say, Keisha, is the level of conservatorship that they would try to do. And remember, I'll be remiss if I don't mention the fact that yeah, you're right too, Keisha, because he mentioned also he was going through it, also talking about his children. Like he don't have access to his kids. Kim Kardashian, no matter if you're a billionaire or not, you have a baby with a woman that is not seeing eye to eye with you and don't got the same principles. You asked out. He said he couldn't even get into the house that he paid for and bought because the security guards is there, and Kim is not letting his children come to his concert and Sunday service and all of that. So I'm like, yeah, you must feel powerless. You know what I'm saying? So it is definitely truth and validity to what Keisha's saying, but I think that he still has enough power right now to get around the little things that they're trying to do, because he's shown time and time again he don't care about no Grammys, he don't care about no goddamn Twitter. You know what I'm saying? This dude literally is on another level when it comes to influence and power. So it's not until the way that I think that they would do what Keisha is saying, a form of conservatorship, would be in a different form. It would be in a form where they literally try to Bob Marley, yay. You know what I'm saying? Like put that goddamn needle in that boot, you know what I'm saying? Or they might come at him on a level where it's like, oh, his mental health is not there, so let's play around with that. Let's make his mental health even worse. Let's make him crazy. You know what I'm saying? People already say he's crazy. Let's make him crazy. Yeah, I think they'll do something like that to conserve Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? But besides all the other stuff, like he's breaking so many barriers and showing that he don't care about this and that and Twitter and Grammys and all of that, you know, I think he'll find a way around it. But they definitely have their eye on him. You know what I'm saying? And what he's doing right now is, monumental. But because I see he's still playing that game and playing with them, then I think that they still have they feel like they still have him under the leash. You know what I'm saying? So what you feel, Blacksmith?
Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. Right before Kanye West left home this time last year, what movie did he say was made based on him? Y'all remember that saying?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't know.
He said the movie Get Out was about him. I don't know if
y'all
remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
He said that movie was about him. When he ran for president and he was doing one of his conferences, I believe the one where he started crying because he left Kim and now he was regretting it. And he don't know if he should go back, and he had the bulletproof vest on. He said also, when one of the reporters asked him, "Oh, are you sure, Mr. West, that you're not doing this as a result of helping President Trump get elected?" He said, "That's exactly what I'm doing." And she said, "Can you say that again?" He said, "I just told you." So you got to listen. You see, you laughing. You got to listen to what he's saying when he's not being political or informative or humorous or acting or what have you. That's when you get the real him. And he's playing a game. And like I said, and this is the only place I differ with you, brother, I say on this point. Infiltration works both ways. Let me give y'all some game now to show y'all how it works. If you want to ask me what infiltration work both ways mean. Last week, the good guys, Trump, Z, Putin, whatever you want to call. You ever heard of a place called Mount Weather?
Nah.
It's a retreat 50 miles away from D.C. in Virginia, in the mountains. The name of this particular place is Mount Weather. And it's one of them bunkers that you can live in for 5-6 years straight. It got everything you need: movie theaters, gyms, limousines, probably hookers and whatever your heart's desire. Anyway, the good guys infiltrated and they caught the EBS last week. The EBS meaning the emergency broadcasting system that they're going to change from the information that we are now on, which is called the Mockingbird Press or the Mockingbird Media, into a quantum financial informational system that can't be hacked because the servers are in space. And that's what Space Force was set up for. So when I say infiltration works both ways, he might be acting the fool for the good guys, is what I'm saying. Not he ain't acting a fool for somebody, while being himself, in my opinion, at the same time. I'm done.
Got you. So, moving on, because we're running out of time.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
A video came across my Instagram, and I don't know if it came against yours, either of you, but this is one of the reasons we have a problem with interracial coupling and producing children out of that. The video I'm going to show is of a mixed race female who is having a discussion with her white mother about using the N-word. I don't know if you all see it, but
I didn't see it.
Let's share. Hold on.
This is why I don't give them no passes.
Facts, I say. See what I'm talking about? Hold on. Here we
go. Can't give them no passes.
Hold on, family. Here we go. Can y'all hear that or no?
Nah,
I don't. It's not even moving. Okay, now it's moving, but I don't hear nothing.
Okay, let me redo it. Give me a second here. Hold on. Let's see. All right, you hear that? So yeah. This is white people on their angst right now. But Here we
You're
go.
white and you say the N-word. I'm just telling you not to say it. That's it.
Well, I'm not gonna have my child tell me what I can and can't do. Sorry, it don't work that way in my life. No, I was raised.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were raised differently. This is a new generation. I'm just saying you can't say that.
I'm telling you can't live here. So how about that? So you tell me I can't say something.
You're
I tell you
being
can't live here.
You're being over dramatic.
No, I'm tired of being disrespected by you.
I'm not disrespecting you by telling you as a mixed person, telling a white person you can't say that.
That lets me know you don't have any fucking love for me, Asia, or you wouldn't feel that way by me saying that.
What?
You wouldn't feel that way at all.
I don't have any love for you because I don't want my white mother to say the N-word.
You are picking me out. You are racial profiling against me, white. That white person can't say that.
No, but you're white and you say the N-word. I'm just telling you not to say it. That's it.
Well, I'm not gonna have my child tell me what I can and can't do. Sorry, it don't work that way in my life. No, I was raised.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were raised differently. This is a new generation. I'm just saying you can't say that.
I'm telling you can't live here. So how about that? So you tell me I can't say something. I tell you can't live here.
You're being over dramatic.
No, I'm tired of being disrespected by you.
I'm not disrespecting you by telling you as a mixed person, telling a white person you can't say that.
That lets me know you don't have any fucking love for me, Asia, or you wouldn't feel that way by me saying that.
What?
You wouldn't feel that way at all.
I don't have any love for you because I don't want my white mother to say the N-word.
You are picking me out. You are.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is one of the problems, and I haven't heard nothing from these mixed race couples out here on this. She would rather throw her child in the street than to stop using the N-word. That's what she said. You can leave. Because you'd rather throw, you see what I'm talking about? Now, where are you mixed couple folks at? Where y'all at with this? Where y'all at with this? This is
You
crazy.
know who I blame though, right?
Come on, Ashay.
I blame the father. That's who I blame. I blame the father. Because this dude, this black man,
Sister Farnessa, right there with you.
he didn't have I should just read her comment. He didn't have no problem laying down with these monsters and creating these biracial people. This dude, look at the position that he put his child in. Like the level of responsibility. This is an irresponsible black man. Because now he got his daughter, where it seemed like he probably didn't live in that house because he wasn't there. He had no say so. I'm sure her mother wouldn't be using that word if he was in the house. So she must be a single mom, he a single dad, or they split up or whatever. But now he got his daughter living in a house with a racist, and that's her mother. And you got a black man that lay down with this devil, and they name their child Asia. You know this black man is lost. A black man lay down with a devil, call his daughter Asia. I don't even know what else you want to throw into the goddamn melting pot. I don't know, but he gonna figure something out. I don't know. I'm wondering who he dating now. Who's he seeing now? But this is what happens when you don't study your history. You don't know who you are, where you came from. You're not gonna know where you're going. You know, and all of the stuff we talk about, Kanye, and all of that. Like, no matter how much you love black people, you say you for black people or whatever the case is. If your goddamn child come out and he got the nerve to be talking about some Black Future Month when none of his children are black, they all mixed. Kim Kardashian could turn around right now and say the same thing this goddamn white mother said right here. I'ma throw y'all out the house.
Come on, Ashay.
You know what I'm saying? And Ye can't do a goddamn thing because she got the custody. You know? And if these devils want to change the rules, like I said earlier, they'll give her full custody, no matter how much money he got, because they make the laws. They could do whatever they want to do, and he a billionaire, but he can't do a goddamn thing to change their laws and their system. I mean, he could work on it, but that's going to take a long time, and he ain't going to be able to get the results that he want right away. Look at Black, they killing us right now. It take us how long to get a goddamn law passed? But all of these other people, they get their laws and bills passed like that, right? Just like that. So maybe that's why he named his daughter Asia. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to make us something. He was trying to do something else. I don't know. He was trying to turn his child into something else. God damn, man. But we running away from ourselves, man. It's unfortunate, you know, and the girl's growing up, the child is growing up in a world where they don't even know which direction to go or who they are, what they are. So when people say, oh, you a new race of people, like, I kind of understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because they get treated like such. Like, which way do you gravitate towards? In a war, you know, or you gonna jump in front of the bullet for your mother or your father? Which one you gonna do? You gonna put the spear when it's time to kill somebody and they fighting? You gonna put the spear in your mom's or your pops? Which one? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they can't decide it, so they just run straight into the goddamn fork that's in the road. They don't go left or right. They just run straight into the goddamn thing. Self-destructive. This is exactly what's going on right now, family. Go ahead, Blacksmith.
No, that's heavy, brother. I'm supporting everything you said. That was a heavy one right there, bro.
It's crazy. It's unfortunate that, you know, we don't think about it like in the level of like procreation, like what you doing. You know, it's just so irresponsible, man. Like, I feel like it's crazy, you know. And to clarify, like I said, I don't give people that's mixed, I don't give them no passes. You know what I'm saying? But like we said, in history, they have people that have been mixed that have put in work for Black people. You know what I'm saying? So if you mix, I feel like you gotta earn, like you gotta really put blood, sweat, and tears and damn near disown your goddamn.
You and Vanessa on the same page. She said they need their own racial class. We need to be able to distinguish who is who.
Hey, Keisha, who was it that wrote that book that hated mulattoes from the like 1890s, or like maybe James John Weldon or one of them people from, it was like 1890s, 1900.
Not sure, but I do know in Destruction of Black Civilization, Dr. Chancellor Williams said, be leery of these folks. Be leery. Now,
I mean, we definitely had some people that were real warriors that were, you know, even earlier. I mean, he wasn't a real warrior, but, you know, even talk about Frederick Douglass, like, you know, like back in those days, it was different. Like you got raped, you ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Your ancestors got raped, you ain't got no choice. But if you in this day and age, and you a young person and your mother white and your father Black, that don't have nothing to do with no goddamn. We not in slavery right now. You could say, oh, the mental level of like the Black man is, I don't know. That's an excuse that they try to use. It's a Most Def scene. I don't know if y'all know that Most Def from the album. It's one of the songs. He's like, it's that brown skin lady song that everybody likes. Brown skin lady. Right before that song come on, it's a skit. It's from a movie. It's like a blaxploitation movie. I don't know, but it's like the brother is like, it's two brothers and he talking to the brother. And he like, man, you the first one wearing a dashiki on talking that Black stuff. You out here dating white women. And then the other brother is like, man, it's not my fault. I'm conditioned. He's like, even my conditioning has been conditioned. I'm like, yo, this is
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's a goddamn excuse. I know it. That's why I'm grateful. Baba Walimu Baruti wrote that book, Excuses, Excuses. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all we do over and over is make excuses and give passes and all of this stuff. And in the end, in the long run, they benefit from it and we don't. You know, we already know. We don't even got to talk about Frances Cress Welsing and all of the information that she put forth when it comes to talking about how they are even just dying off the planet and they struggling and straggling, trying to survive and save themselves. But now they leeches. They attaching onto us physically to try to survive. You know what I'm saying? And we just sitting here stupid. And it sucks, man. Because like as a Black man, I'll be seeing so many beautiful sisters. I'd be like, oh man, this sister is gorgeous. It'd be the most Black looking, the most Afrocentric looking with the natural hair curls and all of that. And they be with white, rich white men. I'll be like, God damn.
Yeah, Fulton Street be lit. Bed-Stuy lit, full of them.
Hey, y'all
Bed-Stuy
ever
in Williamsburg, full of them.
y'all ever notice that when you watch a commercial, if you see a black woman, she usually got a kid and by herself, or if not, with a white dude.
Facts, brother.
Almost I'd say 9 out of 10.
Facts.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to continue with this next week because we're gonna do the flip side. All of these black women, as y'all state, I'm glad y'all ended on that note. Because we're gonna do the flip side next week for sure. Because that's why I didn't want to talk about Miss Ketanji Jackson, Brown Jackson, or whatever. So,
yeah, that's gonna be
y'all beating it to the punch, but right on point as usual. Family, we about to close out. We ran through this so fast, so quick. Time just ran. I just want to let y'all know. Tune in Saturday, 2 p.m. A discussion. Here is the Zoom link. Of course, it's on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page where you all can get it. Garvey and Du Bois, why they didn't unite. Do we still have the same obstacles to unity today? This is going to be fantastic. So I guess I will see you all on Saturday. And then I have some great things happening in the month of April. Salute to our brother Tad. Thank you, Brother Black, for filling in on the check-in for our brother while he's doing other things. And he'll be back with us as soon as he can. But your final thoughts and comments.
Okay, Sister Keisha, Brother Ashe, it's always a pleasure to be with y'all. I thank y'all for the opportunity. As far as my information, if y'all want to get in touch with me, right now they got I said it at the beginning of the program, and I'll say it again for anybody interested. I don't have an email, I don't have a blog anymore, or a YouTube account. So right now I'm on slow-mo. But if you still want to get at me, I'm at Flavius Jones on Facebook. That's FL like Larry, AV like Venus, E like Edward, US like United States, Jones at on Facebook. And until next time, I'll give you all my contact information. I got the books. If y'all want to get anything from me right there, you can hit me up on the inbox, and we'll get it in. Peace to the world. Love and respect each other. I love y'all like y'all love me. And I give it up to my brother Ashe. Keisha, I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Man, yo. That information that you shared, Sister Keisha. Wonderful, man. It's definitely powerful, to study like behind the scenes of, this movement, one of the most powerful movements that we've ever had. And keeping it in the spirit of the Marcus Messiah Garvey movie that's coming out called Messiah, that we're going to actually help to put out, keeping it in the spirit of just sharing the information and educating our family on what's happening, educating ourselves and looking back towards it. That was powerful. And we said, we still in this Women's History Month, Black Warrior Queen Month. You know what I'm saying? So, let's continue to honor them, and make sure in the present time, not just in back in the days studying history, but in the present time, we gotta uplift the way we treat them, treat ourselves and treat our family members and just a regular sister walking down the street. That's how you honor Women's History Month. You know what I'm saying? Not by creating a banner and posting a pic or a meme or something on social media, but monitoring yourself and monitoring the way you behave around these queens, and also monitoring the way other people behave around them. You know what I'm saying? Stepping in, holding them down when it's necessary. Because a lot of sisters out here, they just feel lonely. They feel lonely, not just because it's a lack of men to go around for them to have a compliment, but because also when they walking down the goddamn street and they walk through a crowd of black men, they feel lonely. They feel like they are victims. You know what I'm saying? So sisters should definitely feel comfortable, at least when they in the black community, they should feel safe in their home, family. So brothers, we got to do better. Sisters, we got to do better. treating y'all sister, y'all other sisters better. That's how we gonna honor this Black Women's History Month, fam. So it's your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer, and the battlefield is where you stand. Sister Keisha.
Thank you, Brother Ashe. Excellent words of wisdom from the both of these kings. I truly appreciate them and their expertise and information. We come as a team, and it just, the will of the ancestors, the way that we flow. Trust and believe that. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Thorough Black Talk, where we discuss only the things that matter to us. And as my brother Tad always says, although things may seem hard right now, there's always better days ahead. So we're going to close out with Sister Queen Mother Miriam Makeba. Good night, y'all.
Peace.
Kauleza. Kauleza is a South African song. It comes from the townships, locations, reservations, whichever, near the cities of South Africa, where all the Black South Africans live. The children shout from the streets as they see police cars coming to raid their homes for one thing or another. They say, Kauleza mama, which simply means, hurry mama, please, please don't let them catch you. Kauleza mama, kauleza mama, kauleza mama, kauleza mama, kauleza mama, sheshi sabo. Na gama poisa zongene ndini mama.